and not feeling it. And then suddenly, look, it all comes to fruition, and now everybody's like, oh, what can we do for diversity and inclusion? Well, Mandela Shoemaker Hodge posted earlier, like, you know what? I don't need to make some big public proclamation right now about anything, because you know what? My work is the right thing.
I feel that way. Yeah, I totally feel that way. For anybody who's doing the work, they don't need any new proclamation.
I don't need to say anything at all to anyone. Yeah, she said, and I thought this was amazing, my company is my statement to the world. I don't need a perfectly crafted message or PR agency to clarify who I am and what I stand for. My life is my message. That is absolutely it. And guess what? We wouldn't actually be doing this work if it wasn't a problem. Problem, solution. Like, this isn't like just for kicks and giggles. Like, we see a problem that needs to be solved.
Right.
So
I'm sending the message anyway. I'm sending it.
Yeah, because at this point, like, people need to hear that those things aren't helpful. Like, CB Insights tweeted something out the other day, like, hey, if anybody has a database of Black founders, we'd love to see it, blah, blah, blah. What? Like, in what universe? So I was like, somebody's tweeted something about Sherelle and TP Insights from the plug. And I was like, I'm sure Sherelle and TP Insights could be helpful if this is coming from the right place and you're willing to credit years of hard work. Like, why would she give that to them? They have a newsletter just like she does.
You can do the homework, do the research, go out, find these founders.
And if you wanted to do it, why now? Right? Like, that just rings hollow to me.
Also, just so we're all aware, it's been almost 12 hours and I still haven't heard from a single person at Sequoia. So,
see?
And I'm not going to hear from them because that was a PR stunt.
Yep.
Say that they want to help underrepresented founders, but not actually get the deal flow.
That's exactly right.
Aren't they a big team too? How do they not have any Black?
They're huge.
Investment team.
They're huge.
What is that?
Well, I mean, that goes back to Brian's article. You have a whole bunch of people who are, maybe not presenting as racist, but are, their bias is hidden and they're asymptomatic. So that's it.
Ugh.
It's hard. It's hard out in these streets. I had one of my kids' friends' moms ask me, so when you go down to the protest, if you want me to go with you, I'd be happy to go with you. First of all,
what?
What?
Yeah, I'm not going down there. Like,
also, in what way do you think that statement is positively contributing to what you may be feeling or experiencing right now?
I'm not really sure.
That's so that mom can go and tell her other mom friends, oh my God, guys, I did such a good thing this week. I went down to the protests with Candace. She's a Black woman.
Why? No. We're doing different types of work. Yeah.
Yeah, the actual work.
Yeah, that's it. So, rough in these streets. People come into the yard, where are they at? Oh, it's Elle. Hey, Elle.
What's up, Elle?
I love that it's Elle. Who is it? It's Elle. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like there's a lot of craziness happening. And interestingly enough, even though I haven't heard from Sequoia, I have 5 new LinkedIn invites just in the past few hours of people saying, hey, I'd love to share deal flow with you. And I'm not going to name the funds yet, but interesting that you'd reach out to me today to learn more about my team's deal flow. Wow.
But here's my question. Are you actually going to invest, or are you just putting this in your pipeline? That's what I like.
Pipeline. So when they show their great year-end metrics, they can say, we evaluated over 1,000 startups. 700 of which were ran by founders of color or whatever.
No. Yeah, no.
What's that thing they do, when you're in the hiring process and they need 10 candidates, but they
Yeah.
make sure that 5 of them are women and 3 of them are Black. It's that thing. But it doesn't matter.
Rooney Rule stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, here's the question. Like, do we share deal flow or do we say, like, these are the companies we're investing in. You're welcome to co-invest. Talk to them, co-invest, that's it.
That's always what the conversation is. If I'm not investing in the company, I probably won't share it unless I'm not investing because it's out of my sector expertise.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, on this show, like, Boddle and Musicbuk know that I share their companies with other ed tech, music tech focused people because I love what they do, but it's not my sector focus. So, yeah, very, very strange. Yeah.
Brian's so quiet today.
Tired of being tired.
That's going to be the topic at the top of the show.
It's so 1964, like just tired of being tired.
Yeah.
Though the conversations with partners and sponsors and investors in the fund and LPs, they've been much more like action focused over this last week. People are like, you know what, Brian, like let's do that. Let's do that thing. Because they had a rough weekend. They want to be part of the change,
Yeah. And we know, right? The external world might not know, but we'll know which of our LPs were LPs before June 1st. Right? Which funds were other funds that we co-invest with before June 1st? What other sponsors or partners? We'll know who's been here and who's here for the right reasons.
Who's been doing the work.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I appreciate the ones who were here before June 1st and then are doubling down.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And there's some good folks that are that way.
Yeah.
I love the crew. Tech Culture, AK724, also known as AK47.
No. Same.
Tired. Yeah, y'all.
Marlon, do you want me to get started? I'm sorry, my energy's low.
Don't apologize. Everyone's energy's low. The world is drained.
Yeah. Well, I guess I'll get started, and Marlon can cut me off whenever he wants to. So, I know I asked him, but then I wasn't flipped over to the private chat. So here we are. Folks, sorry, but not, and I guess I can't say sorry, but our chit chat is a little low energy this evening. I think that as a team, as a people, we are all exhausted by what's happening not only this week, but what has happened for decades. And we do this work, and we will continue to do this work so that future generations of people will be able to build the lives that they want to and they deserve as humans. And who knew that this would get this hard, just talking about it in front of this many people. So everyone on my team knows that I will start crying, so I would rather another member of my team to continue talking.
So I can take it over. It's been incredibly draining. It's been incredibly hard. As Candace said, we do continue to do this work, and we always have done this work. And even though it's Blackout Tuesday, it's very important to us that you all know that this isn't just a show for us. Yes, it's a show and it's entertaining, but we do this because this is an opportunity for these founders to meet other potential investors, to meet other potential partners. And you guys don't know this, but for some of these companies, we will most likely invest in them. So this is us doing the work and giving back to these founders in a way that we always do and always will do. There's a lot of work that happens behind the scenes to make this show work. And we're so grateful and thankful for everyone that puts it together. But it is very, very difficult for all of us right now. And please understand that. And we're sure it's difficult for you too. Particularly if you are a Black employee in a majority white space, it's probably extra hard for you as you have to listen to questions about why people are doing what they're doing and what's happening. It's especially difficult for you if you are a parent, particularly if you're a parent raising Black men in America. It's especially difficult for you if you've ever had any issues with any sort of unjust behavior or brutality or police states in your country, and especially if you're as politically involved as some of us are, it's also really tough. So it's really tough for everyone right now. Thank you for being here with us even today. We love you all. Once again, yes, Candace is married to the guy down here, so everybody relax. But we're going to try to do our best to continue to have this episode as normal as humanly possible. It may be a little different, but please show as much love as you can to the companies that, once again, are led all by people of color who are probably also incredibly drained and exhausted right now. With that, we will get started. As a reminder, if you didn't see our Sunday show, we have a new member joining us today. We have a new host. Her name is Alexia. She is the greatest, and she will be taking us through the show today.
And you will welcome her with open arms.
Lots of love. Give Alexia all the hearts in the comments. Give her hearts and thumbs up and all the great emojis.
Hello, everybody. Thank you for really welcome. I really appreciate it. And thank you, Candace and Alexia, for what you said. I think it's really important that not only that we spread awareness in this space, but continue talking about it. And even though it is really draining. But welcome to Twitch Pitch, the very first pitch competition on Twitch, where you, the viewer, had the opportunity to vote for companies you like best. During each episode, 2 companies will pitch and compete for the title of Best Startup, the Best Company of the Season, and the winner of the grand prize. For those of you who are new with us tonight, a reminder of the rules. During round 1, we all watched the companies as they presented their pitch deck in 5 minutes or less. The judge asked live questions as well. Afterwards, we selected viewer-submitted questions for the companies to answer too. At the end, the audience and judges had the opportunity to vote in the polls below for the company they liked best. And when voting, we ask that you put yourself in our shoes and ask, would I invest in this company? Both companies can move to the next round. 12 companies pitched over the first 6 episodes, and only 6 were able to move forward to round 2. The companies that received the most yes votes moved to the next round, and the tiebreaker was the audience vote. During Sunday's recap episode, the judges narrowed down the initial 12 companies to 6, and tonight we begin round 2. The founders will have an opportunity to talk to the judges to answer the questions the judges discuss behind their backs after the pitch during the last round. For prizes, the companies are competing for $100,000 in credits from Amazon Web Services, free access to PitchBook, and a grand prize of $5,000 in cash. Our companies are presenting in front of a panel of our judges, Alexis, Candace, and Brian, and this composes the team at Lightship Capital. And the first company pitching tonight is Musicbuk, and we also have HustleClean and Boddle.
And she did it.
Oh, thank God I did that job. I don't want that job anymore. I love it.
I love it. So just as a little bit of background, I'm not stealing any of these hosting duties, but like as a little bit of background, Alexia came to us as a student who was shadowing at a local high school. We loved her so much, and she loved the experience so much that we talked about her interning, and now here we are. Our intern that's moving into the University of Cincinnati is now hosting with us here at Twitch Pitch. So like, such a cool story. I'm excited.
Excellent. So shall we start?
We shall.
We shall.
Marlon?
Voice of God. He's still with us.
Whew. The music.
That was Nadir Kashimov, a Musicbuk instructor who also happens to be a prize winner in the Paganini violin competition. For context, the Paganini violin competition is the #1 and most difficult violin competition in the world, and he uses Musicbuk to teach his lessons. Hi, I'm DuMarkus Davis, co-founder and CEO of Musicbuk. I, like Nadir, am a violinist, and when I started playing the violin, I was at one of the lowest points in my life. My parents had lost their jobs, we lost our home, and I lost my voice. The violin for me became my voice, but when my orchestra teacher saw that I wasn't progressing as quickly as other students, she recommended I find an outside music instructor. For millions of people just like me, they want to learn how to play music, but they need an instructor to do so. But finding those instructors is difficult because the instructors are performers and not managers. Musicbuk connects quality music instructors with students virtually. Our instructors hail from some of the top organizations around the country, including the Metropolitan Opera, San Francisco Symphony, Atlanta Symphony, and they represent the top 1% of musicians in the country. In addition, what gives us our advantage is our instructors themselves. Each of our instructors goes through a rigorous 4-step vetting process, beginning with a background check. Next, we look at their professional experience, followed by their educational background, and finally, their student success. Now, when instructors join our platform, they pay annual membership fees, and this is how we make our money. But additionally, we also get service fees from each lesson. And with our students averaging over 36 lessons per year, our annual customer value is around $400. And we have a total addressable market of over $12 billion. Now, when looking at our competition, it's very interesting because there are a lot of people in the virtual music lesson space. However, our #1 advantage over our competitors is that we have the highest quality instructors in the market. And in addition, our instructors demand higher pricing because of this. Now, our competition is highly commoditized by price. So if you were to check out most of their websites, you would see something that looks similar to an Upwork or a freelancer, where the person with the lowest rate is most likely to get more lessons. Now, because our instructors demand premium pricing, we have generated a significant amount of revenue in a short period of time, over $150,000 to be exact. We ran a pilot manually pairing instructors and students together. And
Hey, Marlon, I think I'm good.
We ran it a lot like a drug cartel. We booked lessons.
Awesome. So on tonight's episode, we're going back and listening again to a portion of the pitch just to kind of refresh ourselves. And then we're bringing the teams in to talk to them about the questions that we had before and the portion that we talked behind their back with. So I think we're ready.
I'm good, right? When an investor would be like, I'm good, right about the same time.
I'm good. Yeah, that happens. That's the worst. We've seen enough here.
We know how good it is.
Welcome. Uh-oh, DuMarkus.
Hello?
Show me what's happening here.
What's
this? What's this?
We got the announced yesterday. We just got into Tech Stars. So we're kind of excited about it. Thank you.
So you are so tired right now.
Extremely.
They're kicking your entire butt, I'm sure.
Yesterday was the roughest. Today wasn't too bad, but it was a lot on top of a lot. So, but we're pushing through.
Yeah. So tell us, like, what has the last, I guess, month been like now that you've got another month of COVID under your belt? How are things changing and progressing, or are they at all?
They're changing a lot, and for us, it means a lot of growth. So, team-wise, we've been adding a new person to our team about every 3 weeks now. So we just hired a new web developer this past weekend, and he actually just finished or is in the process of finishing our web app right now, which we're probably going to launch either tomorrow or Thursday. Because one of the big things that we realized initially we were app first. And that was largely because we were doing in-person lessons. So it allowed us to get our consumers location information and match them with an instructor who was close to them. Since COVID, what we've realized is a lot more people are using their desktop and just going straight to the internet. A lot of people aren't downloading apps right now. And so while we've had a consistent flow of students coming in through the app, we realized we actually were hurting ourselves by not having a web app. So we're pushing out the web app right now, definitely ramping up a lot of our digital marketing, as well as ad spend on things like Google AdWords and SEO, because we've also learned right now, parents, it's an active search for music lessons. Parents are actively looking for things for their kids to do. So all in all, it's been a lot of, we've had to kind of prove and disprove a lot of assumptions really quickly, but it's been a lot easier because of the uptick in people actively looking for music lessons at this point.
So since you've had this like immense amount of growth very quickly, what would you say for you and your co-founder, what are your gaps? And like, how are you, tell me about discovering those through this growth process.
Yeah, so it was really, the big gap, honestly, was that funnel. So what we were noticing is when COVID hit, we were still doing digital paid ads, but we were getting a lot of engagement, a lot of click through, but some days we might have 300 people click on our ad, but then when it actually came to them converting on the App Store, we would drop down to like 7 or 8, and we're going, that's not usual for us. And so really it's been the biggest gap for us has just been trying to adjust that funnel now to make sure we aren't losing those people, because what it told us is that when we know our customer really well, we understand what our customer is looking for based off how much they're engaging with our ads. But now it's really important that we don't lose that customer in the process of them converting.
Was that the one more finger or the?
No, that was your turn.
What's the
But it
point?
didn't, I know I should have this, but it was more like this. So sorry about that.
So I've got a question about scale. Things are going well. You're receiving new investment. You're learning a lot of tech stars, right? And so 3 months from now, the company will again look different, right? And then a year from that, the company's going to again look different. How are you preparing yourself, both mentally, but also the business, for that kind of growth?
Therapy. And I honestly mean therapy. Like I had a session today at 3. It really helps because I think for me, both professionally and personally, I've learned from really great mentors. You hire people who are smarter than you. And initially, it felt a lot like it was a bit of an inferiority complex in that my co-founder and some of these software developers who I'm bringing in, these guys think so rapidly. And my brain doesn't work like that. I sit with a problem and I can think through it a number of ways, but it takes me maybe 30 minutes when it takes them 2 minutes. And they're like, this won't work because of 19 reasons. And I'm going, okay, so therapy has definitely helped with that. And just like realizing there's a reason why these people have chosen to follow me and work with me to execute this greater vision. On the flip side of that, I think can you repeat the question one more time? I want to make sure I answer it correctly.
Well, no, that was the most important answer. And the second answer, the next second half is, on the business side, as it doubles and triples in size, let's say a year from now, how are you preparing for that part of it as well?
For us, it's just keeping really, really detailed notes of what our priorities are and making sure to double down on those priorities and to also test assumptions to make sure that if we agree on something that it needs to be done, we are doubling down on it. But if we disagree on something, that we're spending more time arguing about it to make sure that that's something that we fix, because more than likely it's going to be something that's going to have to be fixed in the business long term. I think those two things have been really key, even as we are charting into this new territory, which is growth like we haven't seen before, and adding people to the team. So I feel pretty confident, like by the within the next 3 months, we're definitely going to be in the low hundreds as far as users, which for us, that's significant growth because of the way our customer value is set up. And by the end of the year, based off all of our projections right now and schools potentially staying virtual or hybrid in the fall, we're expecting very significant growth.
Thank you, Lexi.
With the transition into your new, I'm calling it your COVID model, how have you seen your customer acquisition costs and lifetime value change?
So lifetime value has actually stayed the same. That was one of our biggest concerns initially, was that our instructors, because they demand such a premium rate, many of our instructors, our average lesson, for example, is $80 an hour. And currently on our platform, we have some teachers who cost more than $200 an hour in many cases. And so for us transitioning to virtual, one of the first questions we asked, are people still going to pay that amount of money for a virtual lesson now that it's and not in person? And what we've seen is our customer base, they don't even care about the pricing. Fortunate for us, our customer base is one that I will say on the higher end hasn't been as affected by COVID. And so as a result, it's given us a little bit more longevity, as well as they are sticking to that 95 to 99% retention rate. But for us, it's just really important that we're maintaining that quality as we go through so that we can keep those rates up. On the flip side of that, I'm going to ask you now, can you repeat the question? These two questions are getting me.
He's so tired right now.
Lifetime value and customer acquisition costs.
Customer acquisition costs, yes. So customer acquisition costs, it's actually seeming like it's going lower. That's one of those things where, because we are about a month and a half, 2 months into it, we're still figuring out where it's going to sit. And particularly when we launch the web app later this week, that's what's going to kind of prove or disprove whether or not we've really shot up or we've gotten a little bit lower. Initially, it was way higher. I'll just be completely honest, because when we dropped that funnel off of people moving from engaging with the ad to then having to download an app, our customer value probably was about 5 times what it was when we were just putting people in the same room. So now as we move into launching the web app, this is kind of going to test whether or not we can stay consistent around that $4 to $6 range, roughly, per customer.
And one last question. Tell me a little bit about at what size and what KPIs does Musicbuk become attractive for an acquisition, and who are sexy potential acquirers for you?
Yeah, so this is actually a conversation we've been having quite a bit. So we actually just welcomed Ultimate Guitar onto our advisory board. Ultimate Guitar, for reference, is the company that my co-founder's previous tech startup was acquired by, Crescendo. So based off all of our guesses right now and our kind of models, it's looking like once we start doing probably, I would say, anywhere from 15 to 15,000, honestly, or more in monthly recurring revenue, will probably be pretty ripe for acquisition. Natural acquirers in that space are definitely Ultimate Guitar. TakeLessons.com is a potential one. Our goal, to be honest, though, is we think we're going to blow those numbers out the water, especially as we kind of double down on this customer acquisition channel. And once we do that, hopefully we'll be able to acquire some of them.
Awesome. So, hey, team, I don't know if we talked about this, and so everybody gets to see what happens actually behind the scenes. So who asked the questions now? Marlon still or Alexia? I don't know.
Alexia
asks the questions and Marlon will highlight them.
Okay, just checking.
All right, so Marlon, give us a highlight. Boom.
Alrighty, so since people are not downloading apps right now, tell me about your technical efficiency to make sure you are not missing out on customers on any platform.
Yeah, so I mean, I think as far as, I will say one, we definitely missed out on some customers because some just haven't downloaded the app. At the same time, our efficiency, we hired a person Sunday to build out a web app, and we will have a completed web app tomorrow. So as far as my team's efficiency goes, my team knocked it out the park. I'm really fortunate that we have brought on some troopers who these guys get in and they knock the technical work completely out of the park. And that is not my forte. But we definitely missed a few people because there are some people, we know that people are actively looking for music lessons. Part of the reason why we know that is we're averaging probably anywhere from 7 to 10 people just naturally coming to our website right now. And then downloading the app and still going through our sign-up process. The reason why that's so important, we have not been spending any money on advertising for probably about the last 3 weeks since we realized that the web app was the problem. So from that perspective, I would say we're very efficient. Those customers who we've missed out on, we are really good about targeting our ads. So we do feel like once we start paying for ad spend again, which will be later this week, we'll be able to get back in front of those same customers, and then they will more than likely convert to being users of our platform, just because the other options out there aren't as good.
Does your 12.5 billion addressable market factor in this premium user base?
Absolutely, it does. So when we actually were developing that number for our market, we had to go through a lot of census data, because if you were just looking at the number of people who actually play music in the United States, that number would be much, much higher. We took the top, I believe it's 5% of earners in the United States, and that's how we were actually able to come to that number by dwindling that down further and further. So 12.5 billion addressable is actually on the low side if you really compare our market, because what we are ultimately hoping to do, while we do target a premium user base right now, at scale, what we're offering to consumers is that you can have a premium service at the same price for one of our competitors who doesn't necessarily focus on a premium user. So that number actually grows for us.
How did you find your CTO? A lot of folks have had this roadblock.
Yeah, so my CTO actually joined us first as an advisor. So I am based in Atlanta. One of our incubators here that's pretty popular is Atlanta Tech Village. And we're very fortunate, and they have a huge mentor and advisor network. So I was sitting down and talking with one of the VCs who is a mentor there, and just getting his opinion on some things. And in our first meeting, he goes, "Hey, you got to meet this guy, Seth." And Seth at the time had just graduated from Georgia Tech. And he was like, "You got to meet him. He'll be able to help your startup a lot." And I actually wrote an article about this that came out yesterday, where I was like, the first time I met Seth, I was going, what is this college student going to tell me about my company? And ultimately, that first meeting turned into a relationship that has lasted now for over a year. After building for about 6-7 months and him seeing everything that was going on with our company, I'm fortunate, and I guess it's kind of timely. He started asking questions. He's like, why have you all gotten the traction that you have, and your company hasn't raised money, and your company doesn't have a product? And I explained to him that unfortunately for us, being a founder of color, it's that much harder to raise money. And he explained to me that his previous startup, he was like, you have more traction than we did, and we were able to raise the seed round. And ultimately, really great guy. He is an ally, and he was like, look, let me figure out how I can help you guys get to the next level. And that turned out in him being our co-founder. And today we are where we are.
All right. It looks like that's all we got. DuMarkus, thank you so much. Congratulations again. You're crushing it.
Thank you. Thank you. It's
always good to see. All right. Shall we talk behind his back?
Shall we?
It's kind of how the show goes. So yeah.
Yeah. You know, it's great to hear the progress. It's I know, I'm trying. It's great to see the progress, and when you see someone moving that fast, I guess that for me, that's the most important part, is to see the speed at which they're moving. It's only been, 3 weeks since the last time we talked to him. He's made it into a new accelerator, a large accelerator, well known. Obviously getting an investment from them, adding probably 20 to 40 new mentors over the next 30 days. And we're just gonna see him ramp things up really fast. And to bring in Ultimate Guitar, I think is huge. So yeah, that growth is amazing.
Yeah, the Ultimate Guitar thing's means a lot to me. I feel like one of the questions a lot of people would have, because they don't know his space, is asking about exit partners, right? Sometimes you have to educate your investors, because we don't know every single industry. Lexi actually does, but the rest of us don't know every single industry. And so him telling us that, one, that company has acquired companies in the space before, and two, that company has acquired companies that were started by his teammates, is really, really important signal for investors.
Agreed.
I think that's let's just get into that definition a little bit more. It's something we talk about a lot, but don't explain a lot. So what is signaling? What is investor signaling? So there are things that people within or near your company can do that will signal that they are interested in either investing in your company or acquiring your company or merging with your company. And so doing things like putting capital into your company as a strategic, which Ultimate Guitar is considered a strategic, or becoming an advisor, or having some other role into the company. Generally what that means is that they're getting a better look under the hood to see the mechanics of how everything works and to see, is this actually as good as it looks on the outside? And generally after some time, those people will choose to either partner or acquire. So you see it a lot. Generally when you see, Fortune 500 companies putting investments or taking advisory roles into startups, that's what they're looking to do and that's what they're looking for. So I think it's a huge signal. Also, I say this all the time, but any founder right now who has pivoted and is thriving in this environment is a founder that I would trust any other year. Because if you can survive what's going on right now and make adjustments in your company now, you're going to be fine regardless of what happens. They're doing a great job.
And so I don't know if Alexia knows to say this, but Alexia, the part about the audience gets a chance to vote as well. Maybe you've got a little script there about that. And you can tell them all about it. We can come up to you. It's going to be amazing.
Oh. So after the show, not after the show, but after all three companies pitch and they talk with the judges, the Twitter poll will open and the audience has a chance to vote.
This is so great. I don't have to do anything.
As usual.
Yeah. This is my life. All right. So shall we go to the next one? Excellent. Marlon, Voice of God, or Alexia?
Yeah, so up next we have HustleClean.
I love it.
So great. I love when she comes back and forth too. Like,
It keeps getting better. Every time this pops up, I think he's about to talk to us, but he's not going to.
All right. Hi, guys. How you doing? My name is Justin Forsett. I'm a former 9-year NFL veteran, Pro Bowl running back for the Baltimore Ravens. I'm a father of 4, husband to 1, avid CrossFitter and fitness enthusiast these days, and also CEO and co-founder of HustleClean. This is my partner.
Wale Forrester, former Cal football player, 13-year vet for the Oakland Fire Department, co-founder of HustleClean.
HustleClean is an active care brand that enables the everyday athlete to do more and be more without compromise. Here's the rest of our team led by Eric Ryan, the co-founder and CEO of Method and Ollie, both being acquired in the last few years. Before we get into any other business, it's important to note that we're not just a company with a mission, but we're a mission that just so happens to be a company that believes that it's not only important to invest in the quality of its goods, but the quality of its communities. And we do that by 2 initiatives. Our free play initiative, which sponsors youth sports athletes that can't afford to play sports, have been priced out. And then Shower to the People is our campaign to provide our products to communities that lack access to clean water, communities like Flint, Michigan, and the water crisis, and Puerto Rico and Hurricane Harvey. The problem.
Yeah, the problem began for us when we were students at the University of California at Berkeley. We didn't always have time to take a shower, and guys were catching staph infections and communicating diseases and infections around the locker room to each other. We graduated from Cal, but also our problem graduated with us. And we realized that it wasn't a football problem, it was an active problem. And a lot of Americans have the same problem that we had at Cal. 20% of Americans work out 3 or more times per week, and 73% of Americans skip showers after they work out, just like we did when we were at Cal. So we came up with a solution, which was products that were clean, cool, and convenient. And they were going to hyper-focus on the post-workout need state of not only the athlete, but the hustler, the active individual.
Well, these customers we're going after, it's pretty simply, they age from 18 to 45, highly driven and motivated people with disposable income. They love to pay premium prices for things that they like and enjoy that allow them to perform better. And Nike, Lululemon are some of the brands that they enjoy, as well as Peloton. This consumer is very driven. We like to say they're real, they're brave, and they're relentless. And this is who we're going after. Market size.
Yeah. The market size, it's a $40 billion market. And we believe that with our strategic positioning, we can service 1.6 billion of that. How do we do that? By creating this suite of products that hyper focus on the athlete and active individual. So it's personal care, but it's curated for athletes and active individuals. What's our competitive advantage?
Competitive advantage, we have a couple of them. Proprietary formulations, first movers within the space. We have influence and relationships within the community. We understand the culture, we understand the language, we understand how to speak to this customer in a real authentic way. And we have unique distribution opportunities that none of our competitors have. Competition is there, indirectly, directly. We separate ourselves by being high quality, authentic, being cost effective for our customer.
Yeah. So sales to date have been $2.4 million, and we've only raised $300,000 since the beginning of our company.
Business model, simply, we have an omni-channel approach, utilizing our partnerships with brick and mortar retailers like Walmart and Target, Amazon as well. And
you know, the confidence in those two. I love how they like go back and forth with each other. I'm catching more this time around than the first time. And like, it was like, you know, tell me about the market and how much did we raise? Just like real quick. And they bounce it back and forth to each other. It's amazing. All right. So is Justin and Wale, are they both here?
We shall see.
Let's find out.
Yep.
Boom.
Both of them.
Here we go.
So we got two.
Here.
Did we talk behind your back last time? I can't remember.
I don't think so.
Okay.
I was minding my business.
Okay. Thank you. That's what your mama taught you. Mind your business. Yeah. So I'm going to ask you guys the same thing to start. Like, tell me how things are going from when we talked to you last. Like, what's the traction still happening? Growth that you've seen? Any changes with COVID?
Yeah, we're still seeing incredible growth on our side as the personal care, the hygiene space has continued to grow with the consumer being more conscious about personal care and protecting themselves when they leave the house. So we're still seeing extreme growth, still over 100% growth that we're seeing within retail, online sales. So business is still gaining traction right now, and we're excited about this opportunity that we have in COVID and just trying to keep up with demand.
Are they new people? Like, is it slightly out of the persona that you've been reaching out to before? Like, are they still Peloton riders using Lululemon? Are they a different type of person potentially?
Yeah. We believe that we're getting new customers now, especially within retail, as we're seeing our digital sales skyrocket as people are looking for antibacterial products. And within our aisle and section of the store, there's just not many options there. There's options there, but there's a lot of out of stock that we're seeing within retail and antibacterial products, and people are really looking to clean themselves, but still heavily focused. Our consumers are focused around the athletic, active person, fit person, but we're definitely seeing some of the average individual that's really just trying to practice good hygiene come into the market.
Cool, makes sense. Who's next?
How about Alexi go second this time?
Sure. So with that growth you're seeing with your retail partners, are you still being slotted in the same, I guess, well, tell the audience, where are you being slotted now currently in your retail partners? And are you seeing changes in your weekly turns?
Yeah, so we're still slotted, like within Target, we're still slotted within the sporting goods section of the store, but it hasn't been hindering sales. We're still seeing, like I said, an uptick on the digital side where people aren't really necessarily going into the store anymore, but they're buying online and seeing our products. So that's been raising sales and seeing a big traction for us there. But yes, we're still in the sporting goods section, but in other locations, we're in personal care.
And can you go into a little bit more detail about your suite of products outside of body and face wipe? The other things, you kind of go through it quickly in the presentation, just so we all get a better understanding of what's on deck.
Yeah, Wale can talk to you about what's next on deck.
No, definitely. So one of the things that have changed since our response to COVID is that we've added a couple of additional products like hand sanitizer and some surface spray in a nice personal care way. So our suite of product literally is just the body wipes, face wipes, dry shampoo, hand sanitizer, surface spray, face mask, and we also have some proprietary things we can't share right now, but it's gonna blow your mind.
Yeah.
Exciting.
I have a question about one in the deck. Some investors, like ourselves, actually care a lot about the work that you guys do and the mission of the company, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's what drives you. That's, I'm sure, part of the reason why you even do it at all. And then other investors are really like purely financial investors, right? Where they're just like, let's just, sell more and get the company sold, that kind of thing. How do you deal with those type of investors when someone comes at you like, hey, I don't care about the mission? Is that a fit? If they can make you rich, like how are you guys thinking about that kind of question?
Yeah, great question. We've gotten to a place, maybe if you asked us early on, as young entrepreneurs, the answer would be different. But right now we feel that we're trying to align people. We're trying to align with people that fit the mission that we're going after, that align with what we're doing. Not only when we're talking about selling product and the P&L statements, but we're talking about what we're doing within our communities. We think it's greatly important for those people to align with us on our vision to have impact outside of making money. We were just talking about trying to figure out ways how within the climate that we're in right now, the issues that we're facing in this country, how can we have an impact? And if investors can't get on board with that, then they're not our type of investors. So we just make it clear: you got to be real, you got to be brave, and you got to be relentless. And those are people that we're looking for to partner with.
I deeply agree. I see Candace is shaking her head yes as well.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing how much the mission really matters right now. And if I think about kind of young Black athletes, like they need the same opportunity. And I remember one of my older brothers being teased in the locker room because people were like, oh, you smell, and I think Black people smell. And just thinking about that, like, it's harsh. So, anywho.
These things matter. Good.
Yeah, no, it's definitely it's something that when Wale are talking about constantly, how do we go out and make a difference? And we're working on initiatives right now where we can provide our products that, this COVID crisis is hitting people that look like us disproportionately than other folks. So we want to make sure that people that look like us, come from the communities that we come from, have access to the hand sanitizers, have access to those hygiene products. Those athletes, they have what they need to be able to go out and train the way they need to and feel safe and feel confident.
Yeah. And it's more so just wearing it more on our sleeve as opposed to retroactively, or just trying to do it for now. We've been doing this work, right? Like anyone who knows us knows that we've been in the community. We've been giving out bags of hygiene, love to the underprivileged. We've been supporting athletes through the free play movement. Like, this is our ethos. This is our mission statement. It's just, we're just wearing it as a badge on our sleeve more. And now we're pushing a lot of our other partners and community members to do the same. Just trying to raise the standard for businesses. And we want businesses to be business missions and not just businesses. It's easy to sell product, but it's hard to do the work, the real work.
I don't know if you heard the last interview. We talked a little bit about mental health, and I can tell you that last answer aligns directly with even your own mental health. When you have investors that believe in what you believe and they're not forcing you down the wrong path, that is going to be huge for you as the company grows. Also, when you have employees that believe what you believe, have less issues, less turnover, because we're all running in the same direction, right? And we have customers that believe what you believe. You're going to be able to serve them better because you understand them better, right? And so to have this mission-focused why, and to be able to use that why from the top of the stack to the bottom, one, will cause change, but two, also is better for your mental health. It won't be pulled from one side to another. So, right, definitely right answer. Just continue the good work.
Thank you.
Wale, Wow, can we bring in a sixth person to actually ask the questions? I haven't seen this yet.
6 on the show. All right, and this with questions. What do we got here?
Alrighty, so first question up is which products in the suite are driving the revenue?
Yeah, I mean, I doesn't. So our hero product is the body wipe, and it is driving a lot of the revenue just based upon distribution. We have nationwide distribution with our hero product, which is the body wipe, and it just has the longest time. It just has the longest history, so the customer is most familiar with it.
And where are we finding your products? Do you have them in grocery store shelves yet?
Yeah, right now it's nationwide in Target. You can find us on Amazon. You can find us on our website, and in a couple of weeks we'll be in another big retailer that we'll share offline, and we'll be going from a little over 1,800 stores to 6,000 stores.
Woo!
In a couple of weeks.
Yeah,
That's so great.
yeah.
I'm not good at math, but 1,800, 6,000. Yeah, that's good. That's good.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, we're excited.
Awesome. Well, congratulations, guys, and good luck getting to the top 3.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Thank you. I appreciate you.
Thank you.
All right. Talk about those good folks a little bit.
I mean, I feel so wrong, right? Like, I've known Justin for a while, and I've had this conversation a few times with him about, like, it's just wipes. Like, other people are selling wipes, and then you see the suite of things now, and people are buying multiple things. And it just keeps growing exponentially. And if you look at that slide where it was like, how much have we raised? It's not like we've only raised $300,000 because no one will invest in me. No, they've only raised $300,000 because they're bootstrapping it and they're generating revenue and they're building the company on that. Like, that's awesome. I don't know. That's what I gathered from today is just that. And now going into 6,000 stores, like, investors are going to be jumping to put money in that now, right?
We're going to end up having to have another conversation about them internally. Like, you want a founder to just make you uncomfortable about, like, oh my God, this is such a great opportunity, right? FOMO is important.
You know that list I have of
Correct.
companies?
You don't want them on your list of things they miss out on, right? And I think that they can give a presentation and they can share these numbers and they can sit across the table from somebody and that person will feel like if they don't invest in that thing, they're going to miss out. And FOMO is key to venture deals getting done. Absolutely.
It's just math at this point, right? Like, we know what the turns were in the other stores. Now you multiply that by 3. And maybe better visibility, maybe slotted in 2 different places in the store, or just like, who knows? I don't know.
Well, yeah, I mean, you get somebody like Lexi and a spreadsheet, and she starts to extrapolate the difference between 1,800 stores and 6,000 stores, right? And she can that's it. She can come to her own conclusion, but it's based on the data that you're providing, right? That's the key.
And in a lot of these retailers, it's not even, the math isn't just 1,800 stores to 6,000 stores. It's 1,800 stores, 2 products to 5 products to potentially some other ones to 6,000 stores. Like, the exponential, you guys know I've been an advocate of this company since day one. The exponential potential for them to skyrocket is incredible. They're doing it now. They're doing it without cash. Imagine if they actually raised $1, $2, $3 million. What would happen overnight?
This is why the work matters, right? They're looking for investors also that are aligned, right? And so they're not going to go into, I'll save the names for now, but they won't going to go to one of these Silicon Valley firms that don't care about what they're doing, right? It's just not going to be there. They need investors like us that really get it.
And one thing we talk about a lot that the audience should understand too is we invest in a lot of companies. So companies can't be super manipulative of our time. If you are a founder who has to email me every 2 minutes of a question, or call me every 2 minutes with a question, or you're fickle or you don't handle stress well, that gives us anxiety. I would sleep so soundly with these two guys having my investment. Not only are they incredibly innovative, they work so well together. Even the way they pitch together in the most seamless way. And they've built an incredibly experienced team where they have troubleshooted every issue, and anything that I've said to them that our team has had feedback on, they've immediately come back with a solution and look at it now.
Okay, you guys, I'm really nervous about like how this is gonna go toward the end here. Because if we're picking 6 companies out of the 6 companies we've got, it's gonna be really hard.
Oh, 3 out of 6?
Oh, 3, I'm sorry, 3 of the 6. My math got really bad there. That's why you do a lot of this work.
But you know what the beauty of the show is? Even after the show, if you're not number 1, it doesn't mean that we can't invest.
Oh yeah, that's the whole point. if we can find 3 out of the 12, I'm all about that base. We're raising a fund and it's going well. So anywho, who do we have next?
She's feeling it, man.
It's been a semi-great day. Hey, Alexia.
Hello. So up next you have Boddle.
Whoop whoop.
This Alexia pop-in is just so dope. I can't keep saying it.
It really is great.
Everyone, my name is Edna Martinson, and I'm excited to be virtually pitching to you today. I am the co-founder of Boddle Learning, a gaming platform for education that makes learning fun and personalized. My team and I started this company because we were shocked by what we saw in K-12 education. Today, 50% of elementary students are not academically proficient. And this is because they accumulate gaps in learning as they move from lesson to lesson and grade to grade without really mastering foundational skills. And it gets so bad that this number jumps up to 75% of students lacking academic proficiency by the end of high school. When talking to teachers all across the country about this, there were 2 big pain points that we kept hearing. First is how hard it is to engage their students to learn and practice. And when they don't practice, they don't master skills. And in today's climate, with schools closed due to COVID-19, it's even harder for teachers to keep their kids engaged with schoolwork at home. The second is how challenging and time-consuming it is for teachers to identify where learning gaps are for each student and to address them personally, especially with 16 to 20 students per teacher. So this is where Boddle comes in. Boddle is an educational game and platform that takes practice and assessment questions and delivers them to students through a fun and interactive game. The game then uses our proprietary learning algorithm to adapt and focus practice on where the gaps for each student are, and provides teachers with real-time actionable reports that let them know instantly and accurately which students need help and on what skill. Boddle also saves teachers time by helping them create and grade homework and tests. So we launched Boddle late 2019, and as soon as we did, we saw tremendous stickiness and impact. Kids who were 2 to 3 grade levels behind were showing 50% faster growth and 2 times more engagement. We received a lot of heartwarming testimonials from teachers in schools and after-school programs. Now, we've had some great support and partnerships along the way. And 2 strategic partnerships in particular are Teach for America and Games and Learning, who have helped us reach more educators. Now, education, like other sectors, has been affected by COVID-19 and has had to deal with school closures nationwide. We saw this as an opportunity to use our innovative technology to bring some fun and be a vital resource to educators and students during these challenging times. And since school closures, we've seen our user base increase by 20 times, from 1,700 kids to 35,000 and counting. Teachers are finding Boddle so valuable as a remote learning tool to keep their kids engaged in math and easily keep track of their progress. And it's not just teachers. We've had thousands of parents reach out to us and sign up for Bottles so their kids can have something that's not just keeping them entertained, but also keeping them educated as they're stuck indoors. Now, though we're making such great strides with math, we're not stopping there. One of Bottle's competitive advantages
Hey, Marlon, I
is
think
that
I'm
we're
good.
interoperable.
Wow.
That growth number is always so crazy to me.
Yeah, you know, I saw it the first time, but to go from 1,000 or was it 1,500 to 35,000, like I'm really interested where they've gone in the last like 5 weeks.
Well, I'll bring them on now.
Let's hear it.
What's up?
Wait, I think I know where they are. Brian, I think they're in Tulsa.
You guys in Tulsa? What's up? I'm live from our Tulsa studio right now.
Oh no, I can't hear them.
Hear them.
It's okay. Oh, again.
Nope.
No. Oh no, it's our first technical difficulty.
Let's see. Can you
There
hear
we
us
are.
now? It's better?
Yes.
Yes.
Perfect.
So you're in
All right.
Tulsa?
We are. We're actually driving back to Kansas City tonight, so we're just parked on the side of the road. We're like, gotta get into the Twitch pitch and we drive back.
I love it.
I love it.
The merch. I love the merch. Thank you for wearing it.
All right, then we'll get into it so you guys can be safe and make it back home. So we saw that growth number, 35,000 folks on the platform as of 4/22. How have the last 5 weeks been?
Oh no, we can't hear Candace.
Oh.
Uh-oh. Well, you can ask my question, Brian.
Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, I can hear you, Brian.
Excellent. So the question, Candace's question, which will make me sound really smart, is we know how the last few weeks have been. How it was before the last few weeks. See, I read like this is her question is much better. But anyway.
No. Remember, they had 35,000 at 4/22.
That's right.
What do they have now?
What do you guys have now in growth over these last few weeks?
Oh, okay. So we've seen, well, now we're like upwards of 40,000, and we've seen a lot of parents come on board as well. So we've seen growth in our product too. We've been able to complete our parent version because before we were really targeting teachers and schools. So they had to go through a full like teacher sign up process, create your class, add your students. And so really excited that now we have like a very simplified parent version to where they can go in and put their kids in and get them started and get them learning quickly. So that's been great. Our team has grown. We've added 3 educators, and we've got added some interns as well to help out with operational stuff. So it's been great.
Love it. Lexi? Let's make sure I can hear you.
I'll read Candace's other question, which is, are there lots of new schools in the pipeline for the fall?
Yes, we do have a lot of new schools. This is actually like the time period to where we had a lot of teachers on the platform from the same school. And so now it's like having conversations with their principals, with their administration to see like what it'll look like in the fall. And we've also had some international schools contact us as well. So we're in
we're doing early prep for some pilots in Indonesia as well as Singapore.
Yeah.
Very cool. Remind me again of what type of school are you pursuing, or is it school agnostic in terms of public, private, charter? What kind of communities are really being driven by Boddle?
It's really school agnostic. Really, when we started this, it's really to have an impact in underserved communities. So before COVID, like all the schools that we were serving were in underserved communities, and we were working with those teachers and students. COVID hit, and now we kind of have students all over in charter schools, public schools, private schools. And so now figuring out like what it looks like for next semester, for example, with the schools in underserved communities who don't have like the budget to pay for Boddle, like working with them and talking to foundations that would, fund Boddle for their classrooms. So yeah, it's kind of all over, but the way we are interacting with each is a little different.
And so I know you're designed for the student to be able to show their progress to the teacher, as well as for the parents to have a portion of the portal. Is there a teacher to parent connection point as well for them to connect directly?
So that is something that is in like the pipeline for the next features. So like parent-teacher communication, because that is really important, and for them to easily send notifications. And a big part of that too is like parent and teacher like education of how like platforms like this work. So really working on educating parents and educating teachers who maybe are not used to using these tools, because we know like once this hit, like teachers who were not tech savvy are now having to use all of this tech, and so educating those educators as well.
So I've got a question about you guys. I've been asking all night questions about the founders and how you're handling growth, right? You've got this new group of people. You got 3 more folks that you brought on. You got new interns you're bringing on. You guys are in different cities, literally in the car right this second, right? So how are you handling or managing the growth, just mentally and also just spiritually, you name it?
For us, so this is really exciting because the handling it, we've gotten the traction to where I can now be at Boddle full time, which is gonna make life a lot easier. So Clarence is absolutely full time. I'm like full time at 2 jobs, So now that I can like be completely full time at Boddle, that means I can have some sort of life outside of like working. So yeah.
Yeah, but in addition to that, so our team has pretty much been all remote the whole time. So the one thing that we have done really early on is make sure that we have a good onboarding process. So for example, we partnered with Purdue University. They always have master's students that come in to rotate to do like a practicum on a topic, and then they rotate out. So it was really early on. We had some helpful, super amazing team members that helped us create processes. So if they're an intern for a new role, we always have them create a process for everything that they're doing, so that if someone else steps in their shoes, they can go through a very like easy process as well.
Very smart. I actually wish I would have done that in my last company.
I'm like takes notes.
Yeah, that's like a really, really good gem right there.
Like a little growth hack.
All right, so why don't we bring in Alexia, and she can read some of the questions from the audience.
Alrighty, so how soon until you have a reading module?
That's an awesome question. So we are actually working with somebody right now on a phonics course. The timeline,
It's going to be closer towards November or towards the end of the year. We just finished mapping out the curriculum, meaning we have identified every single skill that we needed for kindergarten through late 2nd grade, early 3rd grade. And then now we're just working on the content for these skills. So it's going to be probably around, again, November towards the end of the year.
Yeah, and content isn't just like questions. It includes like instructional videos to kind of help the kids along as they're learning.
Yeah, and for reading is a little bit more interesting because it's not like a multiple choice question, right? We want to be able to have capabilities to say, read out the word, and then we'll be able to detect the word and then let them know whether or not they got it right. Because practice is going to be so key for reading.
That's so awesome.
All right, so good. I think that's all the questions we have. Guys, have a safe drive home.
Thank you.
Thank you for making the time. We're going to talk about you right now.
All right, good luck in getting to the top 3.
Good luck.
Man,
They're so wonderful.
they're just crushing it. But that's what founders do, right? We just do everything, and it doesn't matter that we've got to be on the road constantly. Like, you just do whatever it takes. And I'm sure they work their entire day today, and now they're going to drive back.
I've got a harsh thing, and it's not them. It's like it's the opposite of them, right? So whenever I see a founder that comes to me and says, I need to raise money so I can quit my job so that I can do step 1, right? Not step 10, not step, whatever. Like, I don't even want to start the company until someone else gives me the money to leave my $100,000 a year job so I can pay myself $100,000 a year for the startup. Like, that person doesn't have it. They're not ever going to have it, right? here we are. This team was like, I'm just going to work 2 jobs until I get to the right amount of traction. And even though she could have actually probably stopped her other job some time ago, she kept adding other people first because she's focused on growth and the quality of the product. And then finally she takes the plunge and jumps into the company. And I think that's actually a sign of maturity, and that she's going to put the company first.
And I'll say for me, now I've been familiar with this company for 8 months now or so. I didn't know that she had another job. It was never apparent to me. The hustle was there, right? So I never saw that whatsoever. So great job being able to be great at both things.
Any more love notes, Lexi, on this?
I mean, you guys know I am wildly averse to ed tech. I often say I hate ed tech, but there's something about this company that I absolutely love. Like I can't even really put my finger on it. It's the perfect cocktail of a great team, significant growth, a great product, an important product. And they've overcome a lot of ed tech companies in this space's problem, which is, okay, how do we expand? How do we grow? How do we reach this school in this district? Because they have such penetration of their users, B to C to B for them is already done.
Like, what happened? I lost the whole screen. I'm in big trouble. I'm in trouble. But can you see me?
We can.
So I'm just going to keep talking, and I'm going to pretend like this isn't a problem.
It's not a problem.
Like, virality with ed tech, like, doesn't happen. Like, at all. The sales cycle into a school is absolutely trash. The fact that they have been able to get around it is pretty amazing.
Magical.
And it has, like, Duolingo vibes, right? Like, I remember, like, people were using Duolingo for Spanish and lots of other languages, and then it started to, like, infiltrate schools or penetrate schools, and, like, it really spread to language learning within schools really quickly, even though originally they were just they were trying to do something completely different. I don't know. This is interesting that they've been able to do this in the way that they have.
All right, well, now that we've seen all 3 pitches, why don't we bring Alexia back one more time and she can tell you guys how to vote. And she's also on mute. Still going. And I saw you get me, which is hilarious.
All right. Well, we're coming to the end of another fantastic show, and a huge thank you to the judges and the companies. The Twitter poll is now live, so please go and vote for your favorite company. This one's going to be pretty difficult. I think that all the teams were so great. And to round it off, this episode of Twitch Pitch is sponsored by PitchBuk. PitchBuk provides the best private market data through the PitchBuk platform, a suite of award-winning software applications. The platform allows investors and startups to research and analyze companies, deals, funds, investors, and service providers across the entire private company lifecycle. This episode is also sponsored by Amazon Web Services, or AWS. AWS is the most comprehensive and broadly adopted cloud platform, offering over 175 fully featured startups. Featured services from data centers globally. Millions of customers, including the world's fastest growing startups, are all using AWS to become more agile and innovate faster. So don't forget to vote for the company you like the best through the attached links to Twitter. And thank you for joining us, everybody.
That was so dope.
Yay! We covered all the bases. Look at that. You did a great job tonight. I am such a proud mama bear.
So please vote, everybody. And also shout outs to our newest host, Alexia. Great job tonight. Literally great job tonight.
Thank you, everybody.
So, Marlon, shall we go to the backstage?
Yeah, oh, and we'll see you guys Thursday night, 7
Yes.
p.m.
Don't forget 7 p.m. on Thursday night. There will be another episode, of course.
I love it. All right, I'll see y'all backstage. I am loving this. So professional. So professional. I am absolutely loving it.
You did the one-liners for the sponsors. That was really good. She did a great job.
Yeah, I love it. I think the fact that we're acknowledging them in a way where it's just not like saying the person's name, it really does matter. And I really appreciate that for them.
And Marlon, what you got? Where's our behind the scenes scroll? So people know that this is actually like part of the show. This is the behind the scenes. There you go. Thank you, sir.
I mean, wow. This dude is on it.
The whole team is crushing it.
Well, we have news for the team, and I can't wait to tell them after this. I told this one because I can't keep a secret. It's like Christmas. So cool. What a good night. I am so nervous. And so who do we have on Thursday? Brand XR, Undock, and
Quick Wit.
Oh Lord, and he is killing my soul on this game.
Yeah, she was good too.
Oh my God. The question the other day, like I'm totally doing all sorts of research for it. It really is actually a pretty good game. It's a pretty good game. I wish I could find the one I answered.
Speaking of pretty good things, guys, my entire tomorrow, all of my calls tomorrow have been scheduled by Undock.
Ooh.
I looked at my calendar and I was like, what am I doing tomorrow? There are like 4 calls and like 2 that I scheduled beforehand, but it's beautiful.
Oh, I need to reload it and restart it because I think I screwed up my last.
I'm gonna do it right. Read
the email he sent because there's an important note in the email, and then do what he says in the email.
Jeff is like, come on, give it a juice.
Jeff, I'll give you a little bit of info, and the team doesn't know it yet. We found a sponsor for the next 2 seasons.
Which allows us to bring you even better content.
And bigger prizes.
More importantly, bigger prizes.
Yeah, I mean, so like this is the thing. Like here's a little bit of information. Like we took this money out of our own pockets, right, to make this show go. The prizes are coming from Lightship Capital, which Twitch Pitch was never in the cards before COVID. So we took this out of our general operating budget to run this program, hoping that the pilot would work and we could potentially bring on sponsors. So here we are now, 5 weeks in, and we've gotten sponsors for the next, through September. What?
And real talk, we bet on you guys, right? We bet on the crowd watching the show. We bet on the companies that are pitching, that if we put a little money up in the front, good things would happen and we could continue to do it. And now we're seeing that. Like if you bet on these founders, you're always going to win.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Check this out. So there's somebody saying, I got to change my Amazon Echo word now. Brian keeps saying Alexa, saying Alexia's name. And so now their Amazon Echo is going off.
That's my life every day.
Which is kind of great since we're sponsored this season by Amazon Web Services. I might want to throw my Echo right here in the back,
just to see it go.
Yeah. Just to see it, yeah. We can be like, actually, Alexa, what did PitchBook say about HustleClean?
We should get a special keyword that would take like a podcast of the stream.
Yes, let's do it.
I'm about that base. I'm about that.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna have a fully automated Amazon show.
Yes.
I'd like to know who is on YouTube and Twitch from our account. Right, bang, bang.
Bang, bang.
Who is that?
It has to be Raquel.
Likely.
I think it's Marlon.
Oh, it's Marlon.
I love it. I love it. Well, I'm glad everybody's enjoying this show. Like, it's just really a lot of fun. I needed this tonight. I didn't feel like this at the beginning of the show. So I was kind of dragging a little bit. So this is the energy I needed.
Thank you guys for everything you do for us. So we do things for you. Oh, what's this question?
Ooh, you guys didn't do something.
Oh,
Jeff.
Oh man. Oh, okay.
Hold on. Is it on my Instagram?
I think it is.
Okay, I'll just grab the link and then I'll throw it up there. I'm gonna text it to you though because
text me the link and I'll text it to Marlon.
Okay, got it. Or I can just put it in Slack like a real human being. Wow, the people waiting for this. I'm so sorry. This is behind the scenes though.
It's behind the scenes. This is how the sausage is made.
This is how the sausage is made. Oh, there it is. Boop.
I love that people see the value in things that I see value in, and so I get excited when people want to offer you marriage in the comments. That's a validation.
Wow.
Did you say value?
Yeah.
I know.
That's my spouse. Always seeing the value.
Value.
Quickly. Let's talk about those Numi pictures.
I was able to send them. Brian?
Speaking of, what's tomorrow, Candace?
What was that?
What's tomorrow?
Tomorrow is Wednesday.
And what happens tomorrow on Wednesday?
I'm flying to Tulsa, Oklahoma.
And what are we going to celebrate?
Safe passage.
Safe passage. Tomorrow's her birthday, everybody. Everybody, please wish Candace a happy birthday. Woo, woo.
Happy early birthday, lady.
Boom. There you go.
Oh, that was such a cool day. That was such a cool day. So these are pictures from the home of one of my mentors. She had invited us over for a brunch and allowed Angela and I to sign the acquisition docs together in her home office. So it was a pretty cool moment, and it's made a huge difference, really huge difference. And it's been hard not running our Numi programming in person because Numi is a 1-week boot camp where we bring 10 founders to live in a house, and we're providing lots of education and network and breaking bread with them. But we'll be offering kind of Numi Now programming soon, very soon, with some support from great sponsors, and we'll tell you more about that in the next couple weeks.
Yeah, and then we should be back at it in person in 2021. So we're committed to both in-person instruction, but also online as well.
Awesome. All right. Well, I've made it through 2 bags of chips, so it must be time for dinner.
Oh, Jay Brad's like, where's that Numi merch? I wore some last week, I think. I'll wear some more in future shows.
We'll work on that. We've got that logo redesigned, so that'll be fun.
That's right.
He's going to ask about the new logo next week or Thursday night. Awesome. All right, folks. Well, have a good night. We'll see you Thursday. 3 more teams, and then we'll get to the finals.
All right. Thanks for watching.
All righty. Bye-bye.